Namaste. My name is JVN Manisha Singh, Assistant Professor in Department of Food and Biotechnology under Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session, I am teaching you subject Unit Operation in Food Industries for class BSc FST second semester and BTech FPT second semester. In our previous session, I will discuss all about the refrigeration principle, refrigeration components, psychrometric chart, and now in today's session, I will discuss all about the cooling, which is also a unit operation, and cooling is basically used to reduce the temperature of a food from one processing temperature to another or to required storage temperature. And chilling is a processing technique in which the temperature of a food is reduced and kept in a temperature between -8 to 8 degrees Celsius. So the objective of cooling and the chilling is reduce the rate of biochemical and microbiological changes in foods. Okay, so that will basically extend the shelf life of the fresh and the processed food, or to maintain a certain temperature in a food process, for example, in fermentation and treatment of the beer. Cooling is also used to promote a change of state or aggregation, for example, in crystallization. So, the objective of the cold stabilization is to precipitate our tartrates in wines or fatty acids in spirits before bottling. According to the BAT in the Food, Drink and Milk Industries, June 2005. So, the field of application. Cooling and chilling and cold stabilization are widely used in the food industry sector, and chilling is used for the food preservation of a lot of perishable foods. So what is perishable foods? Perishable foods are those foods which are spoiled at within within a week. Okay, so they cannot retain their freshness at the room temperatures. Okay, so in the wine sector, cooling and chilling are applied to clarify the must before the fermentation. Okay, so the cold stabilization is used in the beer, wine, and spirit sectors, and beer is a cold stabilized to precipitate the protein polyphenol adduct, and the beer is kept between the -2 to -3 degrees Celsius for at least 12 hours. So in this slide, there is a temperature danger zone, which is the danger zone is in between the 60 to 4 degrees Celsius, where most of the bacteria will grow, and that will deteriorate the quality and creates the spoilage in the food product. So the refrigerated food should be kept at 4 degrees Celsius or below 4 degrees Celsius. That will fit for the human consumption. Otherwise, there will be the growth of undesirable microorganisms, which will lead to the food poisoning and food spoilage. Okay, so hot food should be kept at 60 degrees Celsius, at below or below or higher than that. Okay, so at which the microorganisms will not grow and will not deteriorate the quality of the food product and not create any foodborne diseases to the consumer. Reheat all previously cooked food to an internal temperature of 74 degrees Celsius or the higher, and never use hot holding equipment to reheat the food, because there is the temperature fluctuation in them. Okay, so that's why they are not used for that. And cool from 60 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius or less within the 2 hours after cooking, and then from 20 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius or less within the next 4 hours. Okay, I hope that temperature danger zone is clear to all. So next is the cooling of liquid foods is commonly carried out by passing the product through a heat exchanger or a cooler or a cooling vessel. The cooling medium in the cooler can be groundwater, and water is circulating over a cooling tower, or water eventually mixed with agents like glycol which is recirculated via a mechanical refrigeration system, which we were discussed earlier, or ice water system. And the equipment used for freezing can also be used for the cooling. And now we have the cryogenic cooling. Cryogenic cooling systems are the open systems in comparison to the conventional mechanic ones, and that expel the spent vapor into the atmosphere without recompressing them. Okay. In cryogenic cooling, the food is in direct contact with the refrigerant, which may be a solid or a liquid, carbon dioxide, or a liquid nitrogen. As the refrigerant evaporates or sublimates, it removes heat from the food and thereby causes a rapid cooling. Both the liquid carbon dioxide and the nitrogen refrigerants are colorless, odorless, and inert. And cooling is in the cryogenic process can be achieved in short times. However, overall, the energy consumption in the conventional cooling is significantly less than the total energy required for the manufacture and the use of the liquid nitrogen and the carbon dioxide. Now, the cooling methods are: the food code requires that all cooked foods not prepared for immediate surface shall be cooled as quickly as possible and to eliminate the possibility of bacteria development. Okay, so there are two methods to cool potentially hazardous foods. The two methods are, that is the two-stage method or a one-stage method. In two-stage method basically reduces the cooked food's internal temperature in the two steps, and the first step is to reduce the temperature from 135 to 70 degree Fahrenheit within 2 hours of preparation, and then 70 degree Fahrenheit to 41 degree Fahrenheit or colder within an additional 4-hour period. So the total cooling time should never exceed the 6 hours. Okay. So the one stage method is designed to reduce the cooked food internal temperature from 135 to 41 degree Fahrenheit or colder within 4 hours of preparation. Okay. So this method should only be used if the food is prepared from the ingredients at the ambient temperature. And when deciding how best to cool potentially hazardous foods, keep in mind the following factors: the size and the amount of the food being cooled, and the density of the food. A broth is less dense than a casserole, and the container in which the food is being stored. Shallow pan cools foods faster than the deep pans. Simply placing a cooked food item in a refrigerator to cool may not be sufficient to reduce the threat of a bacterial growth. In addition, a warm or hot food item placed into a refrigerator may actually raise the temperature inside the unit and jeopardize the safety of other stored foods. Okay, so once the food item has been properly cooled, it should be stored properly, covered, and labeled with the date and the product was prepared. Okay, so the for the refrigeration, uh, sorry, from the cooling session, the questions may be asked in your final exams, like explain cooling, explain the temperature danger zone, and at which temperature the Escherichia coli bacteria grow, and at which temperature molds will grow. Likewise, questions will be asked in your final exam, so prepare accordingly. I hope it is clear to all, and thank you so much for watching this session.